And we're live. I promise you, you're never going to see anything like this again. You're probably not going to want to see or hear anything like this again. So let's get it over with. He's Fidel, Bad News Beauhill. And
hello,
yes,
Johnny.
Yes, ladies. Fidel is naked. Right. If that doesn't draw him in, nothing will. So this is a good test.
Johnny doesn't know where to look.
Good test of our reach and engagement. By the way, are we still allowed to call you Bad News? Is that an old epithet from your will writing days?
It's kind of it's my boxing name. Actually,
right, okay.
I'm struggling to get rid of it. I like it. I like Coach Bad News. Has got a good ring to it, hasn't it?
Rosemary's already been completely repelled by the fact that you're well, she said, "Oh my word," I don't know whether that's good or bad.
That's not repelled.
So for anyone to get in the ring with you, it's bad news for them. So that's how we've got the Bad News name then.
Kind of. It was a thing that worked with the
showing off his bike,
wheel writing and the boxing at the same time.
Yeah, I see. You should do more of that throughout this event.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I don't know if we can even see much. It's not.
Come on, Johnny!
Whoa! Whoa! Come on! If that was to scale against yours, it'd probably be about half the size.
It's all in scale, isn't it? Proportions.
Yeah, exactly. It's proportions. So look, I'm intrigued. I think what we should do is we should switch this to marketing, so we give value, because we've got to distract people from just looking at your awesome physique, because that's not going to get us anywhere, is it?
Depends where we're going, Johnny. But marketing is a good idea. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about marketing. You said something just before we came live on air, which I really liked. Do you want to repeat that for our listeners / viewers?
Yeah.
You said.
I said
people watching.
You should sell them what they want, and then give them what they need.
Sell them what they want and give them what they need.
Yeah. So the theory behind that, I think, especially with kind of like coaching, or any kind of coaching, whether it's business coaching, whether it's personal coaching, I think lots of people definitely don't want the hard work that goes behind all of that.
Yes.
What they kind of want is they want the results.
Yeah.
They may want their presenting problem solved, which quite often isn't the real problem, as you know. Same in business, same in personal stuff. Yeah. So in order to attract clients, you attack the presenting problems and the things that people think they want. The important part is, though, to give them what they need, because quite often you'll find coaches in all walks of life that will then proceed to give the client what they want.
Yes.
And in actual fact, what that does is it just creates a cycle of yo-yo dieting and stuff like that. I mean, I'd say the nutrition industry is full of that. Actually, what the clients want is a really quick fix. So they do it, and then that's what they give them. So they don't actually give them what they need.
Yeah.
So what you've got to do as a coach is you take that on board, and then surreptitiously, sometimes unconsciously, sometimes without them even knowing, you give them the full load, which creates the results. Because that's really what matters to us as a coach, isn't it? Really, results of everything, right?
Can we stop talking about full loads when you're sitting there naked, please?
Yeah, you've got to give it to them hard, Johnny.
Oh my God! Well, look, I did put a risk warning on this before we started. Scenes of a sexual nature. I just wanted to dig into that a little bit, actually, because I think I've got some insights into the difference between wants and needs. And I learned this years ago from a guy who was actually selling physical products. He said, and it was something like this. I'll paraphrase: 300 million drill bits were sold last year around the world. But nobody really wanted one.
No. Well,
they wanted the holes.
They wanted the hole.
But I'm going to extend that, you see, because
I think it's slightly different. I think what I'm talking about is slightly different to that, because that's about results, isn't it?
Mm.
Which is, it does play a part of it. But I think from a marketing perspective, it's all well and good. It's making sure that you're selling them the result that they want.
Yeah, so
there's a difference between the result that they want and the result that they need as well, isn't there?
Yeah, let me extend that bit, because it goes quite a lot further. I don't think that does the job. It did the job in my immature little sales mind all those years back. But I would now say, well, nobody wants a hole. What do you want a hole in a wall for? what you actually want is something to hang your bookshelf on, isn't it? But then that doesn't go far enough. Why does anybody want a bookshelf? You don't want a bookshelf. You want something to put your books on, don't you? You want to have your books. But I think we can take it a level further if we're doing all coaching. We can say what they actually want is the nice feeling that comes from sitting on their sofa, looking at a beautiful bookshelf on the wall with all the books on it. So they want that most of the time. They want the feelings that they're going to get from having done something, achieved something. So dieting, they want to lose weight. But ultimately, they actually want to feel great about their body, don't they? They want to feel great in their body. And
I think that works, though, as long as
you play to the core feeling that people want to get.
As long as, but sometimes clients, are certainly with sort of life coaching and therapy and stuff like that, a lot of the clients you want to work with can't even conceptualize what that might feel like. Do you know what I mean? Like somebody who's been overweight, they might have been overweight for so long they can't even contemplate what that might feel like. And so in some ways the conversation has to be shallower a little bit to engage them. I think. I don't know. This is an interesting conversation for me. I'm just going with it.
I don't think you can go far wrong with the feeling. If you ask someone to imagine, to project how they're going to feel in 6 months' time when they're 2 or 3 dress sizes smaller.
Well, I'll tell you what.
The guy that they don't have a beer belly. What would that feel like if you walked out into the pub and you didn't have a beer belly? You had a t-shirt on. You look great. Well,
that works really well for. I don't know how much you know about NLP. But there are people take on information in different ways. Okay, so asking somebody how it feels really works for a kinesthetic person who understands and hears things and thinks first with their feelings. But then there are other people who use their ears or their eyes, or who like words. So other people will actually engage more. They won't engage with the feeling. You'll go, imagine what you're going to look like.
Yeah.
When you're walking down the road in that dress, or you see yourself in the mirror. So that's a different language again. Or imagine what people will say about you. Imagine hearing the gasps as you walk into the room.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to mix all of that up. If you're talking about sort of sales copy and stuff like that, you've got to kind of mix and blend. Same like when you're doing, when you're giving a talk. It's really important to engage everybody in the crowd and address their different styles. So making sure that you're using all those words, feelings, listening, seeing, touching, and you're getting all of those people engaged, those different styles engaged.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll get to that. I'm still thinking that those examples you gave, it still made me think of a feeling though. Imagine hearing all the comments, all the wolf whistles or something. I don't know, all the compliments when you walk down the street. It's logical to say, isn't it? How's that going to make you feel when you hear that? So maybe it is about our feelings, about our emotions.
There
was a thing, wasn't there? This very wise man said, when you're doing a talk, or talking to anyone, any human interaction, people don't remember what you've said; they remember how you made them feel.
Yes.
Because memories of feelings are very strong and enduring, aren't they?
They are, but that includes engaging with them in the style and format that they like, because then they'll feel seen, heard, felt themselves.
Agreed.
Touched.
I definitely agree with that. What do you guys think to this, by the way? Let's have a bit of a debate going. Stan said still is what they want. I'm not sure what we were referring. What is still what they want? Don't know. Just open up on that, Stanley. By all means, come back to us on that. So, Fidel, what are you up to? You've been on this show before. In fact, you were the first guest actually when we.
I was, yeah. It was a while ago.
Back in November. What have you been up to? How have things moved for you?
Well, I guess since then we have started the community interest company. The Modern Man Club has come to life, and so we've been running a combination program at a local gym where we've been getting guys in. It's a men-only class, and we've been doing like an hour of training and then half an hour of conversation where we've been following different subjects and topics of discussion after the class. Once the guys have sort of bonded, and even then it's been extended and we've been going for coffee afterwards. So it's really nice. We're kind of like, the idea of the community interest company is to create positive men-only environments across the country. or across the world. That's the big goal. So yeah, that's been really exciting, and that's taken up a lot of my energy over the last few months, getting that off the ground and getting people to come along to it.
So in these environments, what kind of impact are the men feeling from it? What are they getting out of it?
Well, I think quite often they get friendships for a start really quickly, which I think a lot of blokes miss for various different reasons. So you'll get a lot of married guys, once you get into that, married with children and stuff like that, a lot of guys stop seeing their mates, and if they don't play a team sport like football or rugby and stuff like that, they just don't get that male only bonding anymore, because kind of where they used to do that was in the pub with their mates, and now their wife and the kid and the money and coming home drunk just isn't suitable anymore. And or it's not allowed. So they miss that interaction with other men. So that's something they're gaining from it. They're also learning how to express themselves. In the class that we're running, it's based on self-defense. So we're doing half the class is like a warm-up and a bit of fitness stuff, and then the other half is self-defense. So we're learning a lot of confidence stuff and how to manage yourself on the street if things go wrong when you're with your family or you're on your own and stuff like that. So it's been really interesting so far, and it's got legs. Really, really pleased and really excited about the future of that. And I think we've hit on something big.
Yeah, I think you have, and I'm listening to you now, I'm aware that I haven't got a wide circle of male friends anymore. Even if I had, I don't think I miss it, but I guess there's aspects of it, thinking about it, that would be nice to recreate. I play music, as you know, and I'm going down to Brighton this weekend. There's 5 of us in the band, so we kind of hang out as fellow musos, and there's a really strong common interest there, a sort of niche, if you like, that we're all.
Are they blokes?
We've all got in common. Yeah, they're all blokes. We've got a female vocalist, but we just ignore her. She just gets on with it. She just shows up and sings. We're the ones who have to actually practice,
It's interesting because you obviously did spend your life as a sports person in your sort of driving capacity and stuff like that in some quite male environments, right?
Male oriented, yeah.
Yeah, with that kind of team and stuff like that team stuff. So you've had a lot of that in your life. It's interesting that you don't feel that it's now missing. Well, maybe because it's not missing because you've got your band.
Yeah, and I hang out with a lot of guys virtually online. We have conversations all the time. Half my clients are men, pretty much. So it's an interesting one.
And you're in the band club, of course.
Yeah, well, I'd like to I'd like to invite myself along to one of these events if I can. Can I come along to one of these events?
Yeah, of course you can. Well, what we're looking at doing in the next month or so is to do a full dayer. With the same thing. We're going to do some fitness, and we're going to do a load of self-defense stuff. We're going to look at how to defend yourself against multiple attackers, knives, guns. It's all a bit of a laugh. Do you know what I mean?
With a face like mine, it's good to have.
It's as much. It's not. Listen, it is about actually that small chance of something like that. You might find yourself in that situation. Yeah. But it's as much about the confidence that it gives you, and it's just really cool to sort of connect with that part of yourself as a man, being able to defend yourself and having a little wrestle with some other blokes as well is actually kind of like, come on, we all used to do it as a little boy. Do you know what I mean? Like, you put 2 little boys in a room, most boys, not all boys, obviously, because there are boys who don't like mucking about with their contemporaries, but it's quite a boyish thing to do, is to just have a little muck about with the lads, and I think we'll seem to get to him. And it's quite funny. We've had
you and a bunch of lads rolling about. Is there a kind of crackling fire and oil involved? Or something?
But we've had a couple of guys who are a little bit reluctant about that, who didn't think that they would actually engage with that element of it, but they've been surprised at themselves actually that it's something that they've enjoyed once they've got involved with it,
That's my initial reaction, I must say. I don't particularly like touching men's bodies at all. Really.
This is a really important point, actually, Johnny. What's happened over our generation is that sort of coming into contact with other men has become sexualized, and like through the sort of 70s and 80s, when the whole sort of sort of anti-gay kind of stuff came along, and then it turned into a bit of bantery stuff, which it still is now. Like me and you will just have a joke about that. But actually, what have men missed out on by now literally not touching each other for fear of being accused of being gay? You know, whether they are or whether they aren't, I believe it's actually had an impact on men of our generation. And you see the rise in things like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and wrestling and MMA and boxing, I think actually is showing that men still want that non-sexualized physical contact with each other, you know, without their bit. And there's still a little bit of a laugh and a bit of a banter around it. But actually, I think historically men have been and doing it with women as well. Like the jiu-jitsu classes that I go to, we have women that are there as well. And actually, it's really cool to have such close physical contact with a female that's completely non-sexual. There are not many environments where you get to do that. And yet it's something inherently human, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? We do like to touch each other. We're social beings.
Yeah.
And
I don't know my problem if they got clothes on. I think just touching people's naked bodies.
No one's doing this naked, Johnny. No one's doing it naked, mate.
Oh, I see. So you actually get dressed to go to jiu-jitsu more than you are now, then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless it's competition, and if it's competition, if it's an MMA competition or a boxing match, then got a pair of shorts on. That's it. Spandex.
Right. Yeah, spandex, man. Just going back to what we were talking about earlier, Stanley said people want to feel good. They don't need to feel good. So feelings is still what people want. Delivering what people need is what would take them to achieve what they want. That's what I took from Fidel saying about marketing. Okay. Yeah. People do sort of use these words as interchangeable, don't they? Needs and wants, but they are very different.
Oh, like, again, from an NLP point of view, it's really, really important. Actually, they take the need out of it, and we don't people about needing stuff, because need brings pressure, right? I need to have this done. I need to get this done. I don't know whether you see, but every Monday, I like with all of my clients, I ask them daily. They get daily accountability from me, and I get them to tell me 3 things that they want to get done by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really emphatic about using that language, that they'd like to, that they want to, rather than going, tell me the 3 things that you've got to get done today, that you need to get done, because that kind of brings all kinds of like negative kind of pressure and angst with it as well. But if it's something you'd like to do, if it's something that you want to achieve, that has a completely different feeling about it, doesn't it, when you use that language? Completely different.
So our needs and wants different things, or our needs just more extreme wanting, where a want turns into a need? Is that possible?
Yeah. Well, it's a desire, isn't it? It's something that you desire rather than like require. Oh, yeah, baby. Desire rather than require, Johnny.
So I need a new car is just a misnomer. Nobody needs a new car, do they? They just think
you like one, right?
Yeah.
But when you say that you need one, it creates all this other stuff around it, doesn't it? But if you're just honest with yourself and you're like, do you know what? I want something that goes faster and it's shinier and it's prettier.
So is it best to reserve need just for food and drink and sleep then?
It's interesting. In Jamaica, when you go out into a country, they frame that question. So over here, you say to somebody, what do you want to eat? Yeah, what would you like to eat? That's a really normal question. You never hear people going, what do you need for dinner? What do you need to eat? Whereas in Jamaica, they say that.
Do they?
Yeah. You need something. Because if you don't need it, why are you taking it?
Yeah.
Very different. Because certainly out in country where people are still like coming from a place of not having enough stuff, you know, and food and things like that. So it's like, you only take this stuff if you need it. But it's very rare that people in this country need food anymore. I probably need to take that back, given the rise in food banks and stuff like that. But
yeah. So physical contact is vital to our development as humans, as Rosemary says, non-sexual as well as sexual. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I think we've established that. So when you say your clients, what are your clients buying into? What's your program?
That's a good question, Johnny. Yeah, so people tend to work with me on a so my breakthroughs are my most popular program. Yeah. And people come to me with various different wants to get rid of. So my standard program lasts for 6 weeks. They spend 1 full day with me, and then we do 6 weeks of coaching around that. So the full day is we create my process goes values, vision, goals. What's important to you? Are we talking about a specific area of your life, or are we talking about life in general? What's important to you? And we get that list and we do a process to elicit that. Create your vision. Where do you want to be in 10 years' time with it all? Then how are we going to get there? Then we do a lot of other therapy around that, timeline therapy, hypnosis and stuff like that, all during the day, which is, I had this conversation just yesterday evening, actually, that I find it very profound, my feeling towards what happens when I go through these processes with my clients. Like, I have never been one, I don't do the whole humble thing. Like, I take credit whenever I feel that it's due to me. Do you know what I mean? I like basking in adulation and all that shit, and I've never been shy of that. Yet when I go through these processes with people, it's so deeply personal and so deeply changing. I watch people come to me with anxieties, with anxiety and other sort of real serious issues, that have been deeply held, and we can't get rid of that. And you see the physical change in somebody when they leave after the day. I mean, it's like properly life-changing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have that same feeling. It's really odd. And the only word I can use to describe it really is humbled. And I kind of unpacked it a little bit yesterday. I was saying it's probably what happens when you actually find what you're truly supposed to be doing.
Yes.
I don't want to get all I understand now when people use religious language around this stuff. So when you hear a footballer or a sportsman or whatever, and they're doing something, they're just going, do you know what? I'm just delivering what I was put here to do. It doesn't feel like I should take credit for it. I kind of understand what they're saying now, because I believe that this is what I was actually put here to do. And so I kind of don't feel that same feeling as I used to. I just feel incredibly humbled to be part of that process.
Yes.
It's just it's a bit odd for me, to be fair, because I feel like part of me is going, Fidel, why aren't you like chatting from the rooftops? This is all you, and you're amazing. You're the best coach in the entire world. But I really don't feel like doing that. I feel like just standing back and watching.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm only half of the equation, and
well, you asked a question, didn't you, the other day?
To some extent, the less important half,
Well, somebody asked the question. I think you answered on there, wasn't it? Somebody asked the question: do we deserve to take credit for it?
Yeah.
And I think we do, or maybe not we do, but I think the process does.
Yeah.
So I think it's huge, I mean, the horse doesn't win the race without the jockey.
Yeah.
So we are part of the equation, and a good coach is worth their absolute weight in gold, because some people are good at it and some people aren't. Or some people are, some people work with some people and some people don't. You've got a match with the client, haven't you, really, to really make the magic happen.
Yeah. Do you have you kind of declined to work with anyone who thought they needed you?
I have referred people to other coaches twice now, and I've worked with people that wouldn't be on my ideal client list for sure. Needs must. At the end of the day, I'm still new to this business, relatively. I know it doesn't feel like it, but actually it's only really been sort of since September that I've gone full-time as a coach. So, and I'm recently divorced and stuff like that as well. So I need the money, and I'm learning my craft. So it's good to work with all kinds of different people, for sure. It's been
even without the financial imperative, though. You never forget that it's your game. It's your rules. You can still work with any client you want, can't you? Even
for sure. I mean, look, as from last week, half of my clients are women.
Yeah.
Even though all of my marketing and everything else like that says I'm the man coach, and that is my ideal client. It doesn't. I think there's a real lesson in that for people.
Maybe there's attractive prospect of you taking your clothes off at some point. Maybe that's what's drawing them in.
Maybe. Who knows why they want to work with me?
Oh my goodness! Well, it has been a really kind of rapid, almost half hour so far. We're going to wrap up in a wee bit, so we're not going to bore you people for too long. You've got more important things to do than sit watching Fidel and I chatting to each other. You
I
guys.
don't think that's the case actually this week, Johnny.
Oh, well, probably. It probably happened. There's nothing better they could do on a
They
Wednesday.
don't need to. They don't need to watch this, but they want to, Johnny.
Just want to. So does addiction become a need, or is that just an extreme want? Is it?
Ooh. Oh wow, that's deep, man.
We're addicted. We're addicted to Fidel's nakedness. We can't take our I'm just going to ask you one question. Actually, I did this before, and see if you come up with something different. Can you teach us something else that we don't know in 5 minutes or so?
Can I teach you something that you don't know?
I did ask.
Oh, wow. Possibly. What was I talking about yesterday? Possibly, yeah, right. Okay, so the brain, right, this is really important, actually. We're talking about language. Yeah. And something that I want to stress quite a bit, actually, is that the brain, the unconscious mind, really doesn't understand negatives. Do you play golf, Johnny?
No.
Okay, golf is just a really good analogy, because like the golf swing, everybody knows what it looks like. It happens so quickly that so much, but very minor tweaks or movements can completely change the trajectory of the ball, right? Yeah. But it happens so quickly that it's a complete unconscious movement. Yeah. So we have to be really careful about what we think about. And it's quite funny, because when you address the ball, quite a lot of people will go, I don't want to go in the water over there. I don't want to go in the lake. So you're saying this is your mantra. I don't want to go in the water. I don't want to go in the water. But the unconscious mind does not hear that I don't want to, right? It only hears, I want to go in the water. And it's a very obedient little, like a little obedient puppy, I think the unconscious mind is. It really survives to serve us and give us what we want. So we need to give it very clear instructions. And what we do is we say, I don't want to go in the lake. Yet every single time you ask any golfer, if that's their thought, where does the ball bloody go? In the lake. Every single time, or it goes as close to damn it, because your body really tries to help you do that. And I think it's really important. So when people are having these thoughts about they don't want to be broke, they don't want to be a rubbish businessman, they don't want to fail, they don't want to be a bad husband, they don't want to be a bad wife, they don't want to be fat, they don't want to be thin, they don't want to be unhealthy. It's really important to change that language up in your mind and create that more positive language. So what is it that you do want to do? Okay, so let's feed that language into your unconscious mind. I do want to be healthy. I do want to be thin. I do want to put on weight. I do want to be wealthy. Yes. It's really important to use that positive language. How long have I got left?
No, go. We're enjoying it. We're enjoying it. This is getting people on board again. This is.
On the flip side to that, though, there's the really important nuance of procrastination, okay, which is a huge problem in business owners, right? Procrastination, massive issue. One of the problems with what business owners do, so we're looking at the two different dynamics of positive motivation and negative motivation, right? Which is slightly different to the language that you're using in your head. What we tend to do is spend our time sitting there thinking about what we do want. We want in 10 years' time, we want this beautiful big mansion and the cars, and we have all our vision board and everything else like that. But you know what? That does not light a fire under your ass in the morning to make those phone calls or to type out that copy or to get up and go to the gym and spend that extra hour. That does not create a sense of urgency. What creates that sense of urgency much better is negative motivation. So what's going to happen if I don't bloody do this? I'm not going to be able to pay my mortgage. My gas is going to get cut off. I'm not going to be able to feed my kids tonight. That stuff will light a fire under your ass to actually get you to take action. All right. So it's good to understand when and where to use positive and negative motivation and positive and negative language for your unconscious mind.
Superb. So negative language gets you off your ass and gets you
negative motivation, negative thought processes and motivation.
Yeah.
But use positive language if for stuff that you want to achieve. That makes sense?
I agree. So something just occurred to me in my favorite sport when you were talking about the golfing thing. There's a concept of target fixation when you're driving a race car, particularly if a car spins in front of you and you think, holy shit, I don't want to hit that.
Yep.
So you start looking at it.
Because you're telling your mind that that's what's important to you.
Yeah.
And your mind will go and fetch whatever it thinks is important to you. That's what it will go and fetch for you.
There's a very simple bit of kind of physiology there in that any vehicle that you're in control of or remotely in control of, so a bike, a car, anything like that, or a boat, will go where you're looking.
Yep.
So if you look for the gap where the car isn't and the barrier's there, then you'll go between the gap. You won't hit anything. If you look at the car and think, oh shit, he's having a big accident, then you'll join him in the same accident.
Yep.
And I think it's pretty powerful that you always go where you're looking. And that's kind of what you're saying a bit, isn't it? About the planning and motivation. Look where you want to go, and you'll go. My lad had a fall the other day because he was looking over his shoulder while he was running. You only do that when you're tiny, because by the time you get as old as we are, you realise that's a stupid thing to do.
I'd like to say that was true, Johnny, and I'd like to tell you that I haven't done that in the last few weeks, but I have.
Oh, you're just a baby, aren't you, Fidel? That's why
I am indeed, mate.
Love this. Look for the gap. Brilliant. Yeah, exactly, Emma. Look for the gap. Look for the open space. Look for the.
These aren't innuendos. No, we've stopped doing that, haven't we?
I think we should finish on a rousing innuendo. What's the best?
I'm going to go look for the gap, Johnny.
We're all looking for the gap. On that note, we'll leave Fidel to put his clothes back on again. We'll do it again sometime, my very good friend. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll be back on Friday with another Expert Stories live show. Take it easy. Bye.
Sorry, Emma.